Hello, guys, and welcome to Untier Talk, the podcast which is apparently always late because we have a specific scheduled time. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Um, I actually didn't know that. That's a good observation that we've just made.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't been on Discord and seen what's going on in general. Anyway, from now on, I can confirm that Untier Talk actually comes out at 11:59 p.m. EST on every Tuesday, and anything before that is actually early. So pretty much every episode that's come out is actually early. That's a fun fact. Anyway, Kingler got banned, and I'm very apathetic. I want to be annoyed because I didn't agree, but whatever. You're much happier, I know that. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like one less thing to worry about. Just in the team builder, I'm pretty happy about that from that
yeah,
perspective.
and that's the thing. Like, it's still nice. I don't think Untier Talk is. Untier Talk. I don't think Kingler is actually like it going is really needed or anything. But if it leaves, I don't think it's necessarily like this really healthy presence that we needed around. So at worst, it's like
Yeah,
I can't be too caught up about it.
yeah. I mean, the thing with Kingler is that I can foreseeably see like a tier with Kingler in it. That's not the issue, but I'm seeing like a a tier with like multiple threats more being the issue. I think we agreed in the past that the problem with PU like at the moment or in this like present state that it's in is more so that there's so many threats that you can't like prep for all of them.
Yeah, but
It's not feasible.
I think that we were slowly getting to a place where like the really problem threats were the ones that were like really done with revenge killing. Your Scarf Passimian, your
Yeah.
Archeops, your Pyroar. And I kind of came to the Zen realization that while I may not like the kind of meta that has Kingler and Aggron as these consistent wall breakers, that doesn't really make it a bad meta. And once I accepted that and started like force myself to actually play 41 games on ladder, um, and yeah,
Mm,
suspect laddering actually did do a lot for changing my mentality. I realized, you know what?
that's right.
This is not necessarily a bad meta. This is something I could really get used to. Where like having Kingler and these strong things, um,
Hmm.
that's not really a problem. The problem comes from the ones that are more brokener than the already broken but not really broken, because it gets into subjective stupidness real quick. But I
Yeah.
think there's a very big difference between Pyro and Kingler here, and I probably should have just Nazi TL'd and made a suspect Pyro first, but I wanted to defer to the overall community opinion, which was very strongly
Hmm.
in favor of suspecting and
Yep.
banning Kingler first. Um, like, this wasn't especially close. The only reason I think it was a little close was my ban post. There are definitely a few people I'm barely certain changed their vote to do not ban specifically because of my post, but it wasn't nearly enough. No, no thoughts.
You're just like cutting it out, so I was like trying to decipher what's cutting in between the lag. Can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. That's a shame. At least it's being recorded on my end, but
Yeah.
basically, I think the only reason it was even close was my post about not banning Kingler. I think definitely got at least a few users to change their mind, but it definitely wasn't enough,
Hmm.
as as is fairly obvious. And there were still plenty of top players, you and Tasker, most notably, who are still very set on banning Kingler. Even though for what started out with Council being like, yeah, the majority of you guys wanted to suspect Kingler before Pyroar. Um, I think the final tally, like LST voted don't ban, two times the tap voted don't ban. Um, So
Mm.
I don't remember the rest of the council off the top of my head, but it definitely wasn't even. It was like pretty split on council.
Yeah, I felt like it was 50-50 on council, but as soon as you got down into like the more like general audience, it became more skewed towards ban.
Mm. Even though you'll obviously get a lot of people being like, "OMG, Pew banned Kingler. They don't know what they're doing. They can't handle the blah blah." Yeah, and that's definitely a
But
big
yeah, my
risk
thing
of.
with
No, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say like what like when you're the tier leader or when you're a council, like what you have to try and envisage is like a meta which is the most enjoyable to play, and that generally leads to metas which the best player wins the majority of the time. Um, so when I look at it from that perspective, you can foreseeably see a meta where it's very breaker heavy, um, and the better players would be the ones that could get more opportunities, let's say, than the other player to break and then to use their breakers to their advantage, or whatever. And that's like that will create a skill gap as well. So that's what I was envisaging. Like I wasn't losing hope, let's say, if Kingler just didn't get banned. Because there will always be an area in which you can become, masterful at, and then if the meta suits that, you can you can play the meta to your advantage.
Yeah. It's just a different feeling kind of meta, but it's still very recognizably like balanced kind of Pokemon. So there is that.
Yeah.
Speaking of balanced Pokemon, Pyroar. We're going to be looking at it. We are going to be confirming that it is still just as broken, which it seems very likely, and we will be doing a full suspect on it if that is indeed the case. I don't think anyone should be remotely surprised by the fact that we are looking to suspect Pyroar. If we do, it will be a quick suspect. It will be a 1 week suspect is my ideal. I haven't really worked out all the details, but no PU suspect has actually been that short, but I would not want anything longer given PU ladder tour and that whole thing. You don't want like the suspect getting too close to that, and the fact that Pyro seems much less debatable than anything else we've dealt with. I think even Archeops and Magmortar and whatever could have had much more, like did have much more dissent than I think we will see on Pyroar if nothing changes. Although it might.
Well, my stance on Pyro's brokenness has sort of changed in the last couple of hours, actually, because I was playing a room tour, and I was using the Assault Vest Rampardos team that I built earlier this week, and a Life Orb Pyro with HP Grass 1v1 AB Rampardos because I clicked Pursuit twice, and it kept clicking HP Grass.
So I mean, you ran a
So I got
set
very mad.
specific. You ran like a subpar thing specifically for Pyroar, but then just some mispredicts. It's not like pursuing twice doesn't chip it to the point where like it's probably dead to rock. I mean, especially with Life
Yeah,
Orb, I don't think
it was
that's
at
necessarily.
14%, but still,
I
I
don't
was
know
kind
what
of
that.
mad that
I don't know what
Pyro
that
won.
changes. Besides, who's running Life Orb HP Grass? Like, I do think Bloom Doom is legitimately um, the second or just straight up best set for Pyro right now.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the Grassian Solar Beam set. I think you're
Yeah,
referencing
Bloom
the
Doom.
Grassian Solar Beam set with Torn is just straight up
Stupid.
like it's the hardest to switch into out of all of the sets.
Because like
It's
Inferno Overdrive or whatever is great for revenge killing and being accurate and whatever, but Bloom Doom it has an entirely different function, which is see this check, that's not a check anymore, or see this switching, I should say.
yeah, it's sort of like Pyro is weak without a boosting item. Like it's not like 105 special attack 5 loss isn't doing damage. So it's like you can afford to run Grassian, you can afford to hit Regirock and all of them boys for millions.
Yeah, and look at the things we're resorting to. AV Rampardos. I brought Z Water Pulse Frostlass versus you today for PU seasonal. This kind of shit's not good. I mean, Z Water Pulse Frost Ice is actually hilarious. It has done a weird amount of work versus non-Pyro teams, but anyway, um, I don't think we have.
No,
Is
I
there
did
anything
convince Jar.
extra?
Well, I did convince Jar. Yeah, go on.
Is there any? I just want to know if there's anything extra you want to say on Pyro, because I think
Not
yeah, I don't
really.
want to
I just
go
tried,
too
I was
much
gonna
into
say like on
rehashing.
the Z water pulse thing that I saw. I was actually thinking because I told Jari to use Z Thunder back in PUPL to hit Pyro and Skuntank in that. So I was wondering if that was the same line of or the same
Yes,
way.
a similar
I
line of
guess.
thinking, but I just wanted Water Pulse instead.
Yeah, you clean my aggron instead.
Mm. Anyway, the only other thing I wanted to get to was just a small. There was a small announcement made that I think most people will have missed. That it just didn't really pop up on anyone's radar because it's not announcing that a change is. It's announcing that a change has happened, but not really detailing it at all. Just saying, "Hey, something's going to be going down." There was a post by Quite Quiet, I think, that the ribbons, all tier circuits and ribbons are going to be undergoing a major overhaul next year. So the current PU circuit is going to stand, but next year PU and all other official metas with official ribbons are going to be standardizing and moving back under official tournaments. Like I'll still have a lot of say in them, the PU staff team. But that means things like there will be a much better, more clearly laid out tour schedule and
Mm-hmm.
point schedule, and that won't end up changing halfway through because we realize the point allocation is wrong. There won't be like this 5 tours getting shifted around by suspect. One tour doesn't count after the fact and all that stuff. No, it's going to be more strictly defined. Also, no tour band users will be allowed, which I definitely like because it's going to be under official tournaments, and if you're caught cheating in a circuit tour, it's a full tour ban, which I also like a lot. Yeah, I really see this as only a full positive. Other people might not because we're technically giving away a bit of autonomy, but it's happening. So there's not much to discuss there. I just wanted to mention it here because otherwise I think a lot of people probably wouldn't notice that until there's a larger announcement, um, like whenever the full details of how the PU circuit next year is going to look come out. And I wanted to draw people's attention to it.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, that's all really.
Nothing.
Just some news. PU has been, a lot of its news is public, but sometimes you have some backdoor dealings like this. The TDs are our friends, not OU though. OU are not our friends. They make us fight Ubers. Anyway, I think that just about does it.
Yeah.
I like getting back to this shorter format. Hopefully, no one's disappointed that we're not talking out for hours about PUPL. But oh my god, this is so much easier.
I mean, it's the off season. It's the off season. Like nobody talks about football after the season's finished for a good bit, unless it's the World Cup. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that we're continuing to do this on time, totally realistically. Um, since they are a bit shorter, we are going to try to at least get some more guests on. We have guest ideas for the next 2 weeks at least, so look forward to that. And yeah, see you in a week when we're probably going to be suspecting Pyro. Just saying.